Good morning, mighty mini truckers, and welcome back to our brand new YouTube channel.
Samson, the mighty Sambar.
I'm Tom, your host here on the channel. And this little guy right here, he's the star of the show. This is Samson. He's a 1991 Subaru Sambar. Folks, here at the channel, we're all about getting outside and enjoying the great outdoors, especially in these little trucks. Even though we'll be discussing a lot of different topics here on the channel, our main focus is still the Japanese K trucks and the JDM vehicles. Our main mission here on the channel is to keep you informed and hopefully give you another resource or a tool. So if you're an old timer, a newbie, or you're looking to purchase one of these vehicles in the future, you've come to the right place. So in this video, we're going to do a complete walk around of Samson. And we're going to delve into his specifications, his features, and his equipment. And mind you, those are pretty minimal. These are utility trucks, so they don't have a lot of equipment on them. So if you got a favorite cup of coffee or tea or whatever beverage you have, go ahead and sit back and enjoy the video. Buckle up and let's go. Before we get started on Samson's walk around, let's go ahead and get rid of the boring stuff, the manufacturer specifications. And yes, I do need a cheat sheet, sorry. I gotta have one. Okay. To get started, Samson is a KS4 Subaru Sambar K truck. Okay. His exterior height is 68.2 inches. His exterior width, which is up front, is 54.92. And of course, his exterior length, which is from front to rear, is 129.72. The manufacturer says that Samson's ground clearance is 6.88 inches, which I don't believe is true because of the gas tank. It's probably more around 5 inches, but that's something we're going to try to take care of here in the near future. Sorry about that. Now, his overall gross weight is 1,807 pounds. So he's a little bit heavier than any of the other K trucks on the market. Now, his load capacity is 750 pounds. Okay, as far as his wheels, he has light truck 145 R12s, which means that he's got 12-inch wheels. Front brakes are disc, rear are drum. Now, according to what's on the inside of the door, the tires will hold anywhere from 29 pounds to about 31 pounds on the front, and in the rear, 29 pounds to 32 pounds, just depending on what you load the truck up with. Now, as far as engine, he's got a 4-cylinder, water-cooled engine with a single overhead cam. Now, as far as horsepower, the engine produces 40 horsepower at 6,500 RPMs to the rear axles. Max torque at the rear axles is 39.7 pounds. Fuel tank size is 10.5 gallons, which is a little bit bigger than some of the other models out there as far as the K trucks. The manufacturer specs claim that the Sambar's fuel consumption is 56 gallons to 67 miles per gallon, which I think is pushing it a little bit. It's probably more like 40 to 45. Now let's move to the front of the cab. Now, starting here at the front bumper, as you can see, this is not metal, it's plastic. It's all faded, but we're eventually going to take care of that in another video. But as far as safety-wise, it doesn't give you much as far as impact. It's going to crush. Next up, what we have are the 7-inch round headlights. Now, these are halogen headlights. About 92, 93, Subaru and a lot of the other companies, the manufacturer of these K trucks, switched out from the round headlights to the more stylish square ones. I personally prefer the round headlights. Now, the nice thing about these is that you can go to any auto parts store and still pick these up. Now, out here in the country, we don't have a lot of street lights. We don't have a lot of, the only light we've got are star lights and moonlight. So these are a little bit dim for me. So that's why I'm going to switch them over to the LEDs. Next, Samson comes equipped with windshield wipers. Now, the wiper blades, you can get those also at any auto parts store. You just have to measure them and give it to them. They should be able to match those up. He also has 2 mirrors, driver's side and passenger side. And they're pretty minimal, but they do their job. Now, moving on to the driver's side. So he's got just a basic flap-up door handle. Okay, on the driver's side door, you've got the manufacturer labels. One is for what they recommend as far as tire pressures for your front and your rear tires. Of course, it's in Japanese, and the numbers in bars, which is what they use over in Japan. Now, you can go online and convert that over to PSI. And down at the bottom here, you've got another label, and that's telling you exactly what the color code is, which is 821. And that's Samson's Platinum Silver. So you can go to any automotive paint store and get that matched up. Since we're on the driver's side, let's go ahead and take a look at the interior of the truck. As you can see, you've got a handle down here. That's your pull handle. And this is a little bit different than most of the other trucks. He's got a little door opener here that just moves back and forth. Most of the ones you have are, they lift up. And you also have a window crank. As you can see, there are no power door locks or power windows. It's the old style. Moving to the interior, might as well look at the dash first since this little compartment's right here. All you do is lift up and pull out, and voila, there's where your brake fluid reservoir is. And the brake fluid that the vehicle takes is DOT3, so that's pretty standard brake fluid. Okay, moving on to the driver's seat. As you can see, they're pretty standard. They've got a headrest, they've got a back, and of course, then they've got the seat. Now, the seat does slide forward and backwards with this handle up here. So you got a little bit of room adjustment. But of all the seats out of all the K trucks, I think the Sambars are the most comfortable, if you can say they're comfortable. Okay, and then over here on the driver's side, you've got a 3-point hitch seatbelt. Now, behind the driver's seat, you have the jack and, of course, all the equipment you need to jack the truck up in case you need to, if you have an emergency as far as like a flat tire. Now, moving to the brake, you've got a handbrake, and of course, here's your shifter. And as you can see, the Sambar has an electronic shift, 4-wheel drive shift, which is mounted on the top of the shifter. Now, the Sambar has a 5-speed manual drive with 1 low gear. It's marked EL. Now, that stands for extra low. It's pretty much what we call a granny gear here in the States. And believe me, it's pretty much a crawl gear. Now, as you can see, the steering wheel is a pretty basic steering wheel. It does its job. I mean, that's what its function is, to be a steering wheel. Okay, since we have already talked about the steering wheel, let's go ahead and talk about the steering column. On your right side, you have your light switch. Of course, that operates both your headlights and also your parking lights. You toggle the switch back and forth, and that, of course, you go from high beam to low beam with that switch. Now, over here on the left side,
is your windshield wiper switch. And of course, it goes from high to low. No intermittent switch here. And then you've got your button for your windshield wiper fluid. And of course, once you press that, it sprays the windshield wiper fluid up on the windshield. And of course, your blades will wipe, I think it's twice, like any other vehicle. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the ignition switch on. And as you can see, your warning lights come on. And over to the left side top, you can see that's low oil indicator, in case you're running low on oil. If you go to the right of that, you've got a low charge on the battery. And then next to that, that's a overheating indicator. And below that, just lets you know that your parking brake is on. And then next to that, which you can't see, whenever you engage your four-wheel drive, a green four-wheel drive light will pop up, let you know it's on. Now below that, you've got a small schematic of a vehicle, and I'm not really sure, but I think that's in case you've got a locking differential, and if you engage that, it'll pop up and show that you've got that locked in. Samson doesn't have that, don't really need it. Does pretty well with the four-wheel drive, and of course with that low granny gear, he can definitely climb up a pretty steep incline. Okay, moving from the steering column, let's move over to the center of the dashboard. And as you can see, we've got two air vents right here. Of course, you can move them up and down or move them left to right to direct your air wherever you want it to go as far as your airflow. Below that, you've got your hot and cold switch from hot to cold. And below that, you've got your directional switch. Now, of course, you can go from defrost all the way to defrost to floor to person, and then straight on to the person. And up top here to the right, you've got the switch that you can recycle air from the cabin, or if you switch it over to the right, it'll actually draw air from the outside. And of course, below that, we've got our fan switch. Now, Samson doesn't have AC. Don't really need it here in the mountains. It'd be nice to have, don't get me wrong, but don't really need it. Below that, we've got, a Japanese radio. Yeah, they don't pick up any really good stations around here, so eventually they're on a different frequency. So I'm going to go ahead and change that out eventually, put a different radio in there. Hopefully I can find one that fits about the same, because I like having this little area underneath to throw things. Okay, then below that, we've got, of course, an ashtray, which I don't use. I'm a smoker, so what I'm thinking about doing with that is I'm going to try to find somebody that can make me a cup holder out of probably ABS plastic, something that would slide in there, and then I'd have a cup holder. To the right of that, of course, this is where your lighter is supposed to go. Of course, I'm using it for AC to, of course, charge up my phone or charge up whatever else I need to charge it. Now, moving from the steering column and the gauge cluster, like any other vehicle, and we have a rear view mirror along with the inside light. I'll turn that on real quick. Now, this is when you open your door up. It gives you illumination. Let's take a look at the clutch, brake, and accelerator. Nothing fancy here, of course. Just like any other vehicle, the clutch is on the left, the brake is in the middle, and then the accelerator is on the right-hand side. The only difference is, on a lot of vehicles, the accelerator plunger or the rod goes through the floor of the vehicle. Instead of on the mini truck, it's on the right-hand side and actually goes through the body. So that's a little different. Now moving to the rear of the truck, as you can see, you've got two latches here on either side, on right and left. You can just pop those open, and of course, then you drop this down like a regular tailgate, which is pretty cool. Now, if you want to drop it all the way down, all you have to do is unlatch these two hooks right here, or the chains right here from the hooks. Get those out of the way, and then you can drop that all the way down. giving you a little bit more ease and access to the bed back here. Now, moving from the rear of the bed, get back over here on the driver's side, you see you've got plenty of hooks where you can hook up straps if you need to secure anything down. On the sandbar, you also have this little place here where you can stick your foot if you need to get up to strap something. It's pretty flimsy. I wouldn't do it. But anyway, you've got one latch here like you have on the back on the rear. Just open that up and drop it down. Now moving to the rear of the truck, as you can see, we've got your two tail lights. We also have another little light, I guess to give you a little light back here. But right here, you've got the engine cover, okay? Now it is locked. One of the little tricks that you've got to get this down is you have to push it in to unlatch it. And then it'll drop down. But that will give you access to the motor. You can see you got your spark plug wires here, all four of them. Your oil fill cap, you can take that out to fill your oil. Your dipstick is right here. And a lot of people, there's a little backup beeper over on the right-hand side. A lot of people disconnect that. I'm leaving it. I think it's pretty cool. But that's how you get access to your motor in the rear. Now, okay, now moving from the rear and moving from the motor, you also have a way to access the top of the motor, and you can do that through this hatch on the inside of the bed. And all you have to do is remove 4 Phillips head screws, back those out, pop that latch, and that gives you the access to that top of the motor where your carburetor and everything else is. Now moving from the rear to the passenger side, same kind of setup. Panel has plenty of places where you can hook up straps if you need to strap something down. And like on the driver's side, you've got your latch. You just pop that open and drop it down, and it completely drops all the way down. So if you have any, say, oversized items that go over the side of the pickup, you can always drop it in there, strap them down, and there you go. That's why I call these trucks the Swiss Army knife of trucks, because the Japanese engineers have done a great job in figuring out how to make the back of the bed even more accessible. Now the bed is a 4x6, so yes, you do have a little bit of overhang, but hey, you won't get that on a side-by-side. Moving to the passenger side, lower part of the truck, right here you've got your battery. It's back behind this battery cover. And to get access to that, all you have to do is unscrew. It's either a 10 or 11 millimeter screw. You pop it out, drop that off, and you got access to your battery. Also on this side, under here, is your gas tank. And that's also fairly easy to get to if you need to get in there and get it or drop it. And like on the driver's side, you also have this little step where you can step on there to strap down anything. Like I said, I wouldn't do it too much because it's fairly thin metal. But even your back rack here has places where you can attach a strap to, or you can strap it to the actual rack. Moving over from the bed side of the truck on the passenger side, right up underneath the passenger side door, you have the access panel for your gas cap. Now it does have a little plastic piece that you pop open. It does have a lock, so you have to unlock it. There you go. Once you get it unlocked, you got access to your gas cap and your filler line. Make sure it's tight. Then all you do is push that little black tab closed and make sure it pops into place. Okay, now let's move over to the passenger side of the cab. As you can see, the same kind of setup is on the driver's side. That's our your panel. And of course, here's your dash and your glove box. Now, one of the cool things that I found, which you don't usually get with these trucks, is it does have the 2 manuals. One of these days, I'll go ahead and get it translated and maybe get that online for people to see, but I thought that was pretty neat. Okay, moving from the glove box. Once again, we have a headrest for the passenger side. You actually have the back of the seat and the seat bottom. I don't know if you can see it or not, but right here, the stitching has come loose. And we're going to repair that in our next video, but I'm going to have to take the whole seat out. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little latch right here. You pop that right there, flip the seat up, and bingo. Have another little place here where you just unhook that, and there's your radiator, the radiator cap. And then back over here with the blue cap here is your window washing fluid. Pretty nifty, but that's where those are located. And the nice thing about the seat back is that you've got this little clip right here. All you do is just kind of push it, and then the passenger side seat back folds down, and then you've got some just some trays in the back where you can throw some items if you need to, tools, whatever. And on the passenger side, you've got a little hand hook here where you can hold on if you need to get in and out of the truck. Well, now that concludes our walk around of Samson. Hopefully you've gained some extra knowledge about this Subaru Sambar. Maybe this will help you out with your purchasing decision if you decide you want to buy one. In our next video, we're going to repair that seat that we talked about earlier and about how the stitching's pulling out. And I'll show you how I do that. If you like what you've seen so far, please subscribe. And if you like the video, don't forget to smash that thumbs up. Don't forget to smash the like button. And if you don't want to miss any of our videos, don't forget to ring that notification bell. If you have any questions or any comments, or if there's something like you see on the channel, just leave a comment in the comment section below. Once again, thanks for stopping by, folks. We really appreciate it. And if you missed our very first video, or our previous video, I'll go ahead and put a link up here at the right, and go check that one out also. Until next time, as I always say, enjoy the great outdoors. Get outside, folks. Be safe and happy trails. Ciao.